I quote the verse of Surah Al-Arqam 172 and 274. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قالوا بلى شهدنا أن تقولوا يوم القيامة إنا كنا عن هذا غافلين أو تقولوا إنما أشرك آباؤنا من قبل وكنا ذرية من بعدهم أفتهلكنا بما فعل المبطلون وكذلك نفصل الآيات ولعلهم يرجعون. Allah says to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and mention and remember. So wa'idh has two meanings. He has mention and remember. I mention to you, remember Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and mention. Now this mentioning, remembering can be real. You actually can remember either through evidence and knowledge that comes to you from people to people, from person to person, or you can actually remember because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to you. In that sense, you affirm it as if you can remember. As if you can remember. So mention and remember has these two meanings. Either embeds that you can actually call by people narrating them to you, and thereby it's front of you, you can see it, you can read it, you know it, or it's revealed to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as if you can remember because Allah is speaking to you, and when He speaks to you and He mentions the incident, it's more than you're remembering. It's true, it happened. It took place definitely, whether you can remember it or not. Is that clear? وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took out children of Adam, his direct children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took out children of Adam. So Adam has children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took those children out from him, just his children, just the children of Adam. Yeah? And then from the children of Adam, He tapped their backs, and then the whole lineage of whole humanity came through. Yeah? Because Allah says, I mentioned when your Lord took from the children of Adam. Yeah? So His immediate children, their offsprings, many offsprings, until Qiyamah. وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ. And then He made them bear witness by saying, Am I not your Rabb? Now He made them bear witness. That shows that they already knew what Jalla wa Ala is doing. They knew Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they knew exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing by saying, Am I not your Rabb? So before Allah Jalla wa Ala asked them the question, they had an idea. They knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them a question, and then by asking that question, they are witnessing that Allah Jalla wa Ala to be the Rabb. And then they said, Bala, of course. Okay, a lot of people obviously say this verse and then they just conclude by saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the fitrah. But sadly, they never go in detail on how did that come about. I mean, from that verse did you conclude that Allah here is talking about the fitrah? That step-by-step process isn't mentioned. So, obviously I've been talking for an hour and a half, so I'll give you brothers a chance to tell me from that verse, it's translated from that verse, tell me, how is Allah affirming fitrah? Sister can have a go as well, no problem. I'm not saying the brothers are more intellectual. You know what? We could have a competition here. let me see who wins, the brothers and sisters.
So can you repeat the question?
The question is, how do we deduct from this verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about the fitrah and affirming the fitrah?
Is it because Allah is asking the question? Am I not your Lord?
And
That's it.
now
directly about the messages being in between.
explain.
Not an explanation. That's
Okay, anyone else? Both of the answers shows that we don't use our aql. We need to utilize more of our aql. So I said the same thing yesterday in my debate, right? That brothers and sisters and us Muslims, we have stopped using our intellect. We have stopped using our intellect. We have stopped processing step by step matters and then concluding. That process the aql has, we hardly use it. We hardly utilize it. We simply just want the conclusion, either from someone else or either from ourselves, without going through the natural process of that conclusion. We don't utilize it. Now, so you got a text here, the aql has a natural process. The aql with that text has a natural process by which it takes one by one, step by step, and then it concludes. Utilize that aql. Utilize the natural process of the aql. Utilize it. Now,
Is it that it said already that it's been brought out and all of the children until the day of judgment they already bore witness to it? Is that what?
But how do you get the evidence from that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is affirming the fitrah? In that fitrah, that you already know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your Rabb and He's the one who created you, He's the one who sustains you. How do you know that? How is that verse affirming that?
This is a negation, I am not.
Is it because they say, yes, we have testified?
Bala.
Okay, explain in more detail. When you say, okay, this is Bala. Yeah, okay, what? How does that affirm?
something that you already know.
Huh?
Something that you already know.
Well done. Very good. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the question, they said, of course. That means they already what? They already what? They already knew. Allah didn't teach them. When I say to you, am I your Rabb? Say to me what? Of course. Did Allah teach them that? Did Allah teach them that?
No.
So it was already what? It was already what? Embedded. When was it embedded?
In the creation.
When was it embedded?
In the creation.
When was it embedded?
First blood, is it before we were born?
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like breath to Adam.
Okay, well, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the soul into Adam alayhi salam. Good, good. So when He puts the soul into a being, that is when it is what? When He puts the soul into a being. When He creates the soul of a being. When He creates the soul of a being, as soon as He creates, there's a connection between the creator and the creation. There's a natural DNA. Allah embeds within that DNA the what? The fitrah. Is that clear? I.e. there's a direct connection between Allah and His creation through what? Through what?
In the creation.
There's a direct connection between Allah and the creation through what? Through the ruh. And in the ruh through what? The fitrah. Well done. So no creation exists without knowing his or her Rabb. It's like saying no parent exists without what? His parents. But here is a bit more. No creation exists without knowing his Rabb. That there is a Rabb of me, there is a Rabb of mine. Is that clear? Obviously, in the hadith, I'm going to go a bit more detail on the fitrah, inshallah. But in that verse, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is affirming, that the fitrah was already there when they answered. So here Allah was questioning them to affirm what? The answer, or to affirm something else? Or was that something else? Is that clear? I say that again, it's very important. People don't say that in their talks, in the lectures. Okay, so write this down. Allah was not asking them this question for Allah to hear the what? The answer. He was asking the question for Allah to affirm what? What they already knew. To affirm the fitrah. So Allah was asking them the question in order to affirm for themselves that they had this knowledge already through the fitrah. Yeah? Okay, the next verse. قالوا بلى شهدنا, we bear witness. And Allah says, أن تقولوا يوم القيامة إنا كنا عن هذا غافلين. We did this so that on the day of judgment you say we were unaware of this. Unaware of this of what? Unaware of what? We were unaware of this. Allah did this incident took place, Allah did this so that on the Qiyamah day they don't say our forefathers committed kufr and shirk and haram and so forth, so we did it as well. Because we were unaware of this. What's this? What's this referring to? The incident? Huh?
Affirmation of it.
Or what's this they are referring to? Allah is referring to. Can you remember? Then? Come on, brother, come on. No, that's on the day of judgment. I did this incident. So on the day of judgment, you don't come and say, you know what? I can't remember this. I can't remember this. What's this? What is it? What is it referring to? Where? The incident? Or here in dunya? The incident. You can't remember the incident. See, none of you are using the aql, subhanAllah. This is how low our aql has become. That refers to the fitrah. Allah saying on the Qiyamah, just that here, you are affirming what? I am your Rabb. Irrespective of everything else. Sah? With what? With your fitrah. When you go in the dunya, you'll have the what? You'll have the fitrah. So don't come to me on Qiyamah day and you say, I can't remember this incident because the fitrah will be where? With you. So I'm taking this oath here to affirm that you already knew I am your Rabb. That you already knew will always be there with you, whether I have this incident, whether I don't have this incident. Is that clear? So don't come to him on the Qiyamah day and say, no, our forefathers committed kufr and shirk and haram and all of this, and we followed them and we obeyed them, and say that we didn't have anything. No, you had something. That's fitrah. Just like you had it on that day.